Hello and welcome back to the Finish Line. So, this week we are going to look back on Royal Ascot last week, and we will then go on to the Irish Derby the weekend. And for all you jump fans, we have a Grade 3 hurdle. And we all know who's going to win it, but we won't get to that yet. And I feel Tom's know who I'm going to say.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that jumps race, but it's fucking impossible to pick the winner on it.
No, it's not. I'll enlighten you in a few minutes. Right, before we get started, yesterday the tragic news came out that Liam Treadwell was found dead yesterday morning. So from myself, Tom, Dave, we just want to send our condolences to the family for such a tragic event, and hope that his legacy lives on, and all the work that he done with mental health will actually start hitting home with a few people that will actually come out and talk about it.
Yeah, it's so sad, isn't it? I couldn't believe it. A friend of mine texted me, and I just can't get your head around it, really, can you? I remember the same thing happening. I knew Richard Woolacott a little bit. I didn't know Liam Treadwell, but it's just shocking. People that you've seen, and people towards the top of their game. I know Liam retired, but it's just so hard. I mean, all you can do is keep saying it. I saw Kate Tracy was saying on Twitter, actually, she was on about highlighting it and stuff, and we keep saying keep talking and don't feel scared to talk to anyone. It's not a weakness. It's a massive sign of strength if you go and talk to someone. It's easier not to talk to someone. It's very hard to go and talk to someone. So go and have the strength. Go and talk to someone. See what happens. We've seen it. We've got our WhatsApp group there, and we've a pretty tight knit community. And if we ever think there's anything wrong with anyone, there's us three messaging each other, and then there's everyone else messaging each other saying are they okay, or what's going on with this person, or we talk about those kind of things, and everyone's there for each other. So just go and talk. But I think Kate was saying and I was going to message her. I haven't yet, but I think we need to do something. I don't know what it is though, because that's why I don't say anything. I don't know what the answer is, but I feel it's becoming too regular in horse racing, and we need to do something. I don't know what the answer is, but we need to do something.
It's got to the stage now. It's probably one of the biggest killers of men or around our age, and something big campaign has to start about it. As you said, it's not a weakness, it's a sign of strength to talk about. If you're not feeling well, talk. I know you might think it's the end of the world and there's no way out, but there is. There's always a way out of something.
And you're not alone. People do feel it. You might feel like it's you and it's the way you're feeling. We've spoken about gambling in our podcast, on the podcast, and in our WhatsApp group. And I think some people in there have thought I'm doing this, or I'm chasing money, and we've all said we've all done that. We've all chased. I guarantee you, 99% of gamblers and pro gamblers even have chased money at one stage or another. It's wrong, but you've done it. And I think you can sometimes feel like you're on your own if you've done something like that, and you're oh well, that person wouldn't do it, but we have and it's the same in any walk of life. Everyone feels down about something, and everyone has been there. Is what I'm trying to say. Don't feel you're alone. Don't feel you're the odd one out, because you're definitely not.
Don't be afraid to open your mouth, ask questions. If you're down, anyone, even watching this, we have a WhatsApp group. If you're feeling like you're down a hole with gambling, come into our group, and the lads in there are second to none. There's a few head cases. They're all mad, but they're really, really take your, what's the word I'm looking for? If you ever have a problem, they're the first ones to jump on. Right, what's up? Talk to us. We're here to help you. We've been there, and so on. There's always people there. Right.
Yeah. There's always people there, yeah. And I think that there have been campaigns in the racing industry before about, I know they put up a hotline that you could call any time, and it was anonymous, and it's not I'm not saying that people haven't tried. They have. I feel we need to do something else, and anything that's out there, and they want us to get involved in any little way that we can, we will, I'm sure. But I feel we need to do something. I don't know what the answer is. That's for the professionals.
I think there's a thing now. We sit off camera now. We talk and try to get onto the right people and get some kind of thing going. Even if something small, if it helps one or two people, at least it's helping something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
On to matters at hand this week. So we will touch on one of the biggest stories that are coming out in the last few days as well.
Emmett Mullins jumping over a wall. No? Is that not the biggest story?
I don't think he was going to get away with that.
I don't know. Fantastic trainer, maybe a little. And I can see the predicament he was in if he thought the horse wasn't going to be able to run and it was in a big race. But look, he held his hands up in fairness to him. But
yeah, all over cancer.
It's cost him a few quid as well. But
a few quid and a few weeks away from the races. Well,
anyway.
Right. Tom Marquand getting jocked off for Frankie Dettori. This story hasn't gone down well, let's be honest about it. There's a lot of people thinking this is bad. What do you think?
Where's Dave when you want him? Because I'm sure he would go to absolute town on that.
We'd have about 10 minutes of a Dave rant, I'd say.
Right, my view on it is, and it has been from the start, is I can understand an owner having a runner in a massive race and a trainer having a runner in a massive race and then wanting the biggest and best jockeys on board. I can understand them jocking someone off to get Frankie if they could. And I would normally support that. My problem here is you're jocking off, in my eyes, a future champion jockey who doesn't seem to get fazed by anything, has broken through in the last few seasons, but this season now has broken through he's ridden his couple of Group 1s down in Australia. He's then come back, he's won a race at Royal Ascot. Like, it's all about confidence in these kind of things. His confidence must be sky high. You know, he's ridden this horse to win the Lingfield Derby trial. His confidence is massively sky high. He's a fantastic jockey. If you had a run-of-the-mill average jockey, I'm not going to name names, but, you know, I'm sure we can all think of some examples, and all of a sudden Frankie comes available for this horse, I can see why you go for him. Tom Marquand is not a run-of-the-mill average jockey. He is a top-class. He's a top-class, world-class jockey. He's breaking through, and, you know, the point of, oh, I'm sure he'll get his chances. Well, when is he going to get his chance if you don't give him a chance? Like, I don't know. I don't know Ed Walker at all, but I mean, I saw the news and I was like, must be the owner. The owner must want him on it. But I read it, and that's not the case. Like,
no, it's coming out like Ed Walker wants it.
Like, Ed Walker turns around and says, "Oh, like, you know, it takes the pressure off me as well to have Frankie on it." What? Like,
that's a kick stones, Tom.
I don't know. It's if it was a run-of-the-mill jockey, I'm not just being ridiculous now and being like loving the fairy tale, but if it was a run-of-the-mill jockey, I would say fair enough, I can understand it. But it's Tom Marquand. Like, he's getting rides off Jessica Harrington in England. He's getting rides off Aidan O'Brien. Like, Aidan O'Brien's happy to put him up in a classic, but you're not. Yeah. Explain that to me. Like if I've started training, like I trained a couple of point-to-pointers, and jockeys, when you've got one horse and you're unheard of in a point-to-point, are hard to come by. So the way I looked at it was I looked at the top lads, Colin Bowe, Donncha Doyle, those top point-to-point trainers. And if they're willing to put those lads up on a 4-year-old maiden point-to-pointer who's cost 50 grand at the store sale, why shouldn't I be willing to put them up in a 7-year-old and up maiden on something that's cost me 1,500 quid? You know, like, that answers my question. So if Aidan O'Brien is willing to put up Tom Marquand in the classic, and you're not, just take a look at yourself, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, 100% agree. Like, even you can take for example, last week, Skeptical. Jockey's name's gone out of my head now. I was riding.
Joey Sheridan.
Frankie didn't know the horse. Frankie came out and they said if he knew the horse, he would have won on him. So what's to say that Frankie's not going to do the same with English King? Tom Marquand knows this horse inside out. He rode him with extreme confidence in the Lingfield Derby. Produced them at the right time, went away at the right time, done 0 wrong. If anything, he excelled himself on the horse. For me, I think it's absolute bullshit. I said getting jocked off. He's, as you said, he's one of the most up and coming jockeys. He's getting rise for Jessica Harrington. He's getting rise for Aidan O'Brien. Ed Walker wants to have a long look at himself now over this. Just because Frankie Dettori is Frankie Dettori. What makes Frankie Dettori better than Tom Marquand right now? Because his name is Frankie Dettori, and he gets on all the best horses.
I wouldn't put it. I'm not like, and I know I might have sounded there. I wouldn't put it all on Ed Walker. I'm sure Bjorn has wanted him on. I'm sure the pressure is on from Bjorn as well to put him on. But it's kind of how you handle stuff as well. You see a lot of like Tom Marquand handled himself very well when he came out and what he said. But the easy thing to do would have been to just turn around and say, look, the owner wanted Frankie. Yeah. The owner's booked Frankie. 2 words, 3 words, leave it at that, no comment. I think the more he went on, the more he kind of dug a hole for himself, and the more it looks like, you know, he wants Frankie on over Tom Marquand. And like, if that is the case, I don't agree. But the thing is as well, like, Frankie's won two derbies. It's not like he rides Epsom like nobody else. It's not like, oh, it's Franny Norton around Chester or something, you know, or Shea Barry around Tremor for our local example. But you know what I mean? Like those 2 jockeys rode those tracks exception. It's not like Frankie rides Epsom exceptionally and £10 better than anyone else. I wouldn't have been bothered about having Tom on. I'd have been quite happy, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't get, like, you can see, as you said, if the owner came out and said it, because they have a association with Frankie with Stradivarius. So if they said that, no one would have batted eyelid. But as you said, Edward kept digging and digging and digging and making it worse himself. And then Tom had to come out and kind of defend it. Yeah. Where you could clearly see he'd hit Monte. But being a professional, he did.
The quote to me that is absolute bullshit is, this is not a reflection of our confidence in Tom's abilities.
Bollocks.
Well, it completely is. It's exactly that. It's exactly you saying we're not confident that Tom can get the job done, so we're going to go with, we think Frankie can get the job done better than Tom, so we're going to go with Frankie.
You know what would make this absolutely perfection?
If he rides an outsider for O'Brien and he does him on the line. But you see, this is the thing, like, I've nothing against the horse now, and I heard somebody else saying this, and it's so true. You want to see that horse get done on the line now, don't you?
Yeah. Nothing against him, as you said. I want to see him get done, and I want to see him get done by Tom Marquand.
Yeah, it would be class. I think I've got the horse. I might as well mention that now. Actually, is there's a horse that's taken my eye for the English Derby. It's clear to everyone. Coolmore do not have a Derby horse.
Yeah.
They are struggling big time to find Derby horses this year. And I'm not going to back English King now, but I wouldn't have backed him anyway. But I think the one if I look further down the market, Military King I've said that all season. He's drifted a little bit on Betfair, which is a little bit worrying. But there's a horse over in France called Ocean Atlantique that costs 1.1 million as a breeze-up horse. He's owned by the Coolmore partners. He's trained by Andre Fabre, and Andre Fabre is not mentioned coming over to the Derby at all with this horse.
Yeah.
Until the other day, where he said something along the lines of, we'll have to see what the owners want to do and what they have for it. So that tells me that they don't have a lot for it. The last time they did that with success anyway was Pour Moi, who came over and won the race under Michael Barcelona. And I looked through the runners that Aidan O'Brien had for Coolmore that year, and they weren't anything great. I think he had 4 runners. None of them were short than 5-1, I don't think. So I could see Ocean Atlantique coming over. He's currently 18-1. He was last night anyway. He was 18-1 last night with William Hill. He probably hasn't beaten a lot in France, but he's looked exceptional when he's done it. As I say, it was a 1.1 million breeze up horse purchase, And yeah, I think you could do worse things. I backed him at wide prices on the exchange. You can do worse things than back him for the derby, I think.
We'll touch on him. When's the derby?
4th of July.
Next week.
Independence Day, which is Saturday week.
Right, we'll have a little run through. We're not going to spend much time on Royal Ascot looking back over. So we'll touch on Jesus, a lot of horses. Just looking at me notes. We'll fly through them. Right, what did you make of Circus Maximus in the Queen Anne?
Yeah, I thought he was good. I ended up backing him in the end just because he drifted to 9-2. I think I got on him at. And there's good each way terms. Look, he's tough. He's gutsy. Nice performance.
I thought it was a great ride out of Ryan. Dictators kicked again when he was headed at about furlong out and got back up. Thought it was great, right? Franklin Darling, she's going to put it up to love.
Never mind Franklin Darling, the horse who came second. Ennis Timon. I'd rattled on about her for a while. She'd won her maiden, and then she comes over there the week after and runs a cracking race.
She ran well.
I think she's the one to take out. But frankly, Darling was always up at the pace, and that was where you wanted to be in that race. She was very impressive. But Ennis Timon, only having the third run of her life, first in anything like that company, the first where she's really been asked a question, to be honest. She was pulled out wide from behind in the straight, big wide open straight of Ascot. She ran around the place and then ran on. I said before she won her maiden, I thought she was maybe an Irish Oaks filly, and I definitely stand over that. I think she's a lovely filly. She's definitely a Group 1 filly.
I'd take on Franklin Darling in the Oaks 100%. I think she's not learned enough yet. For the first 3 furlongs, she put like an absolute mad joke. Love will spit her out. I think it's going to be. I think you'd see your horse running at Epsom as well. I nearly full sure they bring her.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if they did. I don't know. I've just always had her down as an Irish Oaks horse because they've got Love, and Love is such a short price for the Epsom version. So
the reason I say that is it's different owners, but look, you have more chance to win the Irish one not going against Love.
Yeah. Well, I mean it's John Magna's mother, so I'm sure he'd tell his mum what to do anyway. So
keep the mother happy, right? Pile Driver, King Edward VII.
Yeah, grand disappointing race for me.
It was horrible. It was rotten. Mogul was as big as a house going into it. I expect him to come on a lot first, but he want to come on a hell of a lot to keep up the reputation. Batash, breathtaking.
Yeah, I still stand over this though. That's not his course. He was getting tired towards the end again in that race. I know he pulled way too hard, but he didn't beat a great field, I don't think. And he was getting tired towards the end. But whether we'll see him back next year or not, but if it's a better race, I'd be happy to take him on.
Yeah. Where to next? Batash. Russian Emperor.
Yeah, he was good.
I like that. He could be their ledger horse. I like the way he came off the bridle so far out and just kept going and going and going.
I think the ledger horse ran later in the week.
Do you think so? He's running Friday though, isn't he?
Yeah. I think he's very good. He is very good, that horse. I like him. But he's a big galloping type. He wants a bit of rain before Saturday night now. But we'll get on to him anyway.
The Lord North against Japan. Japan was very disappointing.
Yeah, again, no, I think first run back, Ryan looked after him when he knew he was beat.
He used a lot of petrol to get out of the gates.
Yeah, there's a lot more to come from Japan later in the year. I think they've got one target and one target only for him, and that's the Arc. So,
what did you make of Ryan's ride on Sir Dragony?
Shite.
Oh, it was dreadful. If you have a Group 1 horse running a Lister race and you give him 40 million lengths to make up coming in.
Yeah, he's been hit and miss in the last season or so, Ryan. But yeah, that wasn't one of his better moments, I don't think.
Battleground. This is like quick fire questions. Battleground, very impressive.
very impressive. And what I was even more pleased about was he franched the form of that horse that I've got a bet on with Dave, Benevente, I think his name is. So that maiden, the battleground finished, I think, third or fifth in. Third in, I think. Was he? Or fifth? I don't know. Third. It was third or fifth, one or the other. That race that he finished placed or fifth in. The horse who finished behind him in seventh, Benevente, is trained by Richard O'Brien. He is a lovely horse to look at as well. Battleground took his run when he went to quicken up, and I said to Dave that I don't think there's much between them, and Dave said I think there'll be £30 between them by the time they finish their career. I think there probably will be now, because I think Battleground's a very, very good Group 1 horse. But that may mean Benevente is a 90 horse, so I'm quite happy with that anyway. So he's one to keep an eye out on.
Yeah. Stradivarius.
Electric, isn't he?
That's the best turn of foot I've seen him put in. Like, even Frankie, before he turned in, he was looking around to see what was coming. There was nothing. He was so confident. Like, hindsight's a great thing. It was an absolutely dreadful Gold Cup, and he touched even money at one stage. Yeah. It was the biggest certainty on 4 legs around Ascot the whole week.
This is what I was saying to you, is I actually ended up backing him, and I backed Batash. And like anyone who listens know, I wasn't too keen, but Batash got out to 1.92. I think I backed him out on Betfair. And Stradivarius, again, I didn't get the evens. I got just a shade of odds on, and I just thought at those prices they weren't backing. But Stradivarius, I said it to you in the group, and I've said it this for a while now, is he is a horse when he goes to stud. If I had a National Hunt mare, I would love to send it to him. Yeah. I just think he's got everything. He's got durability. He's a very sound horse. He's rarely injured. He relaxes in his races. He stays very well. His temperament seems good. And then when you ask him, he's got a turn of foot as well. If he could put that into a horse who came from a very good dam side, you will end up with a lovely horse. If he could put all of his qualities into something, like they say about Galileo, how tough he is. Like if Stradivarius has this mindset and how he battles as well, and then he has that turn of foot. Like
is it ridiculous to say that he's getting better with age?
I just think it's durability as well. Like he doesn't over race. Like we all love those horses who over race, and Sprinter Sacras of the world, Undersows. But I mean, Undersows a bad example because he lasted for a long time. But they rarely last. If you settle like that, and if you had a mare, and hopefully we'll get one down the line. But if he could put what he has into a decent mare as well, you're onto a winner there, I think.
100%. Right, on to the Friday. We start off, I didn't put it down on notes, but Art Power in the 5 furlong handicap. Jesus, he's a group horse.
Group horse and a handicap. We were on about him. I thought he was a bit too short. He got so well supported. And this is one I actually ended up laying, even though I fancied him. He was like 2.74, I think I laid him at. I just thought it was way too short considering what he'd done. I thought he had all the potential, but by God, he's a group horse anyway.
He's a little grey bullet. He's very, very impressive.
Yeah, he's very good.
I'd be interested to see him now against El Batash coming down the line.
Yeah, he's one to be excited about.
Commonwealth Cup, one of your fancies, Golden Horde.
My nap of the week, thank God. 10-1 I backed him at the week before, so he was very good. He's a lovely horse as well.
Santiago.
Yeah, I love him. Again, a bit like Stradivarius, just a stayer who seems to have it all. He's very exciting going forward. I do think he wants a trip and a bit of soft ground, though. We
get on to him now in the Irish Star because he's declared. Well, he's not declared, but there's money coming for him. On to Saturday, and Campanelli. Wesley Ward had a winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
Next. We'll give Nando Parado an I'll mention 150 to 1 winner, which one or two of the lads in the group actually backed him.
Yeah. Yeah, hindsight's a great thing. If you go back and watch his first run, it was eye-catching, but I would never have thought he would have been able to do that on his second start. So, but no, he was very good.
Right, and the next two, were I think are the best two performances of the week: Alpine Star and Palace Pier.
Yeah, she was great, wasn't she, Alpine Star?
Very good. And she looks like she's going to come on for the run a lot as well.
Yeah. In fairness to Dave, he's been knocking on about her, saying that she was Jessie's best filly, and he certainly looks to be right at the minute. She was brilliant. Definitely on that bandwagon now, anyway.
Jamaica Palace Pier against Pinatubo and Witcher.
I thought that was the best race of the week. I enjoyed that. I thought the tactics. I actually thought they balls the tactics up. I think Wichita stays very well. And I think if they'd have, and there's question marks about Pinatubo staying, and there was about Palace Pier. I think if they'd have gone on and gone a good gallop, it would have suited Wichita better. He's interested now. He's crying out for a step up in trip, really, isn't he? So he's interesting. Pinatubo, I think 7. I think we get to the Sussex at Goodwood. I think a lot like Too Darn Hot. That'll be his gig. I think 7 furlongs. Again, we can't say he hasn't trained on. The others have just caught up with him. He's a very good Group 1 horse. He's just maybe asking for that step back down to 7. Palace Pier has gone and done it now, hasn't he? He's proven it, and he's a really exciting one to go forward with. But the 3 of them in that race are really lovely horses.
They're winners for all season, the 3 of them.
I think that mile division is a lot better than the 1.5 mile division of the 3-year-olds, I think.
Miles better, I'd even say.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we didn't get the fairy tale with Skeptical. Hello, Youmzain took it. And Dreams a second. Hello, Youmzain did well to battle back in the final furlong. Frankie held on to him for another half furlong.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I was looking at his pedigrees by Exceed and Excel as well, so he probably wants a bit of better ground. So I think he moves very well. So I think if it's anyway soft again, 5 furlongs is his trip. He'll get 6, but on better ground, I think. But look, he's gone and he's done it as well now. He's proven himself to be Grade 1 class, Group 1 class even, and he cost 2,800 quid. It's an amazing achievement. So.
No pressure on you anyway. Just saying.
I was going through the catalogue the other day and I was there.
Well, what are we buying? Come on, tell us.
It's so tough. I don't know if we'll be able to afford anything at the Derby sale, but you're going for everything, and you're like, right, well, that's a half sister to a Grade 1 winner. That's a half sister to a Grade 1 winner. And you're like, well, I'd have any of them. So I think I'm just going to have to stand there, and anything in our price range that, as long as it moves okay and it's not awful, then we'll have to have a dig at. But then you get to the likes of, there's the other sales then there are weaker sales, and it's trying to sift through because we can probably afford any mare in that sale. So it's going to be impossible. I don't know how I'm going to get a week off work to go and do this, but anyway, we'll have to sort it out.
Coronavirus. There you go. Right, now we kick into the weekend's races. We will start off with the chorus 7:15 and due by duty free Irish Derby. So we have Santiago 3-1, Arthur's Kingdom 9-2, Crossfire Hurricane 6s, Fiscal Rules 8s, Ibra 8s, and 10-1 Bigger the rest. Right, go on about Santiago. Do you think this is too much for drop down trip, even though 2 furlongs after his last performance?
If it's soft ground, no, because I think he showed a turn of foot, and I think if they focus everything around him, then they will run a pacemaker in here to go a nice pace. And I think he's got, if it's good ground or good firm ground, which I don't think it's going to be. We've had a lot of rain over here, so unless it dries out, Curragh does dry out very well, but unless it dries out really well, there should hopefully be some cut in the ground. And I think he's got a hell of a chance. I was looking at his pedigree actually, and I think this is key to why they're running him here, and how much he's going to be the focus of the race for them. I think we all know that Galileo is the daddy of all sires. Coolmore's problem comes from his level of success, really. We've seen him look to Stormcat and the likes, and Warfront over the recent years, because you breed this many good horses to the greatest stallion there has ever been, and you end up with too many horses by him or related to him. So you need to look for outcrosses. And this is interesting. They bought Santiago. He's by the Derby winner authorized, and he's out of a Cape Cross mare who comes from a Shadwell family. So he's a complete outcross to anything to do with Galileo. So if they could get this as a horse at stud, I think they're really, really going to be pushing for him. Yeah. They need stallions who aren't by Galileo. So I think everything is going to focus around this horse. The Dam is a half sister to Motamaris, who was third in last season's Prix de Jockey Club, the French Derby. So he's also got a good page there. He came out and won as well. He won a listed race by 4 lengths on his return this season. So it's still a very active pedigree as well, with a good Group 1 horse who's a half sister to who's a half brother to the Dam. So the other half sister has actually bred a group two class that ran in a Group 1 and didn't run badly as a sprinter. So there is actually a bit of speed in the pedigree if you go down the Dam side. We all know authorized stayed there. But what's that?
There's a lot of bloody half sisters.
Yeah, but that's only 2 of them. There are more of them, but they were the 2 that interested me. That they bred very nice horses as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if this lad was a top class horse. As we know as well, the Prix de Jockey Club is a mile 2. So if there's a bit of cutting it, I'm not worried one bit about 1 mile 4 for him. I think he quickened up very well, and he put the race to bed very early, and he stayed very well. And I think Ballydoyle are going to focus around him being their main hope for this.
I think he is going to be very, very hard to beat. I can't have Arthur's Kingdom at all whatsoever. Like, it's 2 lengths behind Pearl Driver. I know he's probably a good horse, but go back down through it. It's nothing special about him. 92 wouldn't go near him. The worry I have is Crossfire Hurricane, who won at the Curragh last time out. And he's stepping up in trip, which I think will suit him down to the ground. He's 6-1 in place. I genuinely think it's between Santiago and Crossfire Hurricane. And right now, I'm finding it hard to split him. Even though I did say Santiago is the one to beat, but I like the way Crossfire Hurricane races. I like the way he comes off the pace and keeps going and going and going. He hit that line very strongly last time out. And come today, as you said, it'll probably come down to what the ground is like. Like, we've had about a month's worth of rain in the last week. But as of now, it's very hot out, and it's meant to get hotter for the rest of the week. So if it's on quicker ground, I'd side with Crossfire Hurricane, because he rattled off the quick ground that occurred last time. Another one, Fiscal Rules. I wouldn't give up on him. He looked fairly immature and green over a mile. Step up to another 4 furlongs. I'd be interested to see what he does. And even on Crossfire Hurricane's farm, Gold Maze is in that as well. So you can't really rule anything Jessica Harrington runs lately, because everything she touches is turned to gold. So, depending on ground, I'm between Santiago and Crossfire Hurricane.
I actually fancy, so my main, I'd have 2 selections, and I'm probably going to have 2 bets in this. Santiago's 3-1, and for reasons based around his pedigree, as I said, I think they're really going to put him as their main focus and their main hope. It just, I mean, I know it's a horse race, but breeding comes into this so much. So he's one to be interested in. I'm not a fan of Iberia. Not a fan of him. Arthur's Kingdom, look, he's tough, he's consistent, but he was overlooked by Ryan Moore the last day as well. I'd be surprised if he was good enough. One that's interesting, the two that are interesting is Fiscal Rules, although I don't think today is going to be the day for him, but he is a lovely horse. Jim Bolger's just not quite firing at the minute. The other one is the horse I tipped to was fourth in the 1,000 guineas, the Irish 1,000 guineas, is New York Girl. They've actually supplemented her for this race. So she looks an intended runner. And, look, she's probably going to find something too good, but that tells you all you need to know about the race. Is the fourth in the 1,000 guineas has been supplemented for the Irish Derby. She needs a step up and trip. This will suit her. She will probably just find a couple of them too good, but if they're fishing for a bit of prize money, they'll make some money by supplementing her, I reckon. The one I'm interested on, Crossfire Hurricane, is in that race. I'm interested in Sherpa, who was he third that day? Let's have a look. He was running on very late. Got stopped in his run basically. Finished third that day. Only beaten 11 3/4. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what Wayne Lorden was doing, because he went for a gap in between two horses when he didn't need to. He could have just come down the outside like the winner did. And I don't think there's too much between them two. And one of them is 14s with Coral, and the other one is best price 6-1. So sure, I'll be back in Sherpa and I'll be back in Santiago. Crossfire Hurricane, the only other thing that bothers me with him is, I know he looks like a stay, but he's by Kitten's Joy. The majority of winners for Kitten's Joy come between 7 furlongs and 10 furlongs. The classic example of that is Roaring Lion. Like he just didn't stay in the Derby. He is also bred Kamiko, who again looks like he's going to stay, but he's one I'm willing to take on in the English Derby because of his pedigree as well. So I'm happy enough to take on Crossfire Hurricane. Sherpa doesn't have the pedigree that Santiago has, but I'd like a little each way on Sherpa, maybe some enhanced each way prices, each way terms, maybe 4 places, something like that. But I think Santiago is the one to focus around.
What was I going to say? What you say? I wouldn't knock that.
I wouldn't knock that.
Right, so my final selection, depending on ground, Santiago or Crossfire Hurricane.
Yeah, I'm going to have two, because I'm genuinely going to have 2 bets in a race. I'm going to back Santiago and I'm going to back Sherpa.
Right, so now we'll move on to Sunday at the Curragh at 4:45 and the Pretty Polly Stakes. It surely boils down to if Magical turns up, she wins.
Yeah, it depends what he runs, really, doesn't it? Like, you got Magical in there, you got Magic One, you got Fleeting. New York Girl's obviously going to go for the Derby, we imagine. Magical turns up. She probably wins, doesn't she? She's got to give a lot of weight. She's got to give £12 to the 3-year-olds. The only possible 3-year-old I could see beating her would be KM Pepper of Jesse's. Very good form in Ireland, was unbeaten, and was then 4th in the Fillies Mile over in Newmarket. That was behind Love and Quadrilateral, so that's Derry Strong's form. The other one maybe to give a shout out to is Rocca Roma. Got well punted for the Guineas and then was taken out due to the ground. Won a maiden at Goran the other day. Was somehow 7-4 the night before for maiden Goran. So some of the lads got on it. I don't know how it was 7-4. You want sacking if you put that up at 7-4. Went off odds on and won cozily. Won in the style that they might be looking after her for another day. So Rocca Roma is interesting. KM Pepper is interesting, but in reality, if Magical turns up, she'll win.
She's miles clear on the rate, and I wouldn't even be worried about her giving that much weight away, even though it is her first run of the season. She's by far the classiest mare in it.
Yeah.
64 might look a steal come bloody Sunday. Right,
what price is she?
64.
Is she? Yeah. What price is KM Pepper and Rocca Roma?
KM Pepper 10s, Rocca Roma 25s.
Ooh. Yeah, they're big prices. I'd take them each way. Especially if you knew they were running, it'd help even more. But yeah, I'd take a chance on those each way out for a
As far
couple.
as I know, Cayenne Pepper is running. I think I read it.
Yeah, but that's too big. 10-1 is too big in that race. So.
We are on to a handy one. The next one, Premier Handicap over 5 furlongs. I can't.
Yeah.
Where is it gone?
I sat down and wanted to get stuck into this. The Rockingham.
Yeah.
Yeah. I sat down. Sorry, I'm just looking at that market now. Yeah, that's way off. Way off that 10-1. I think you'd be looking at around half that for Cayenne Pepper, I reckon, come the day. Yeah. So yeah, I'd have a bit of that 10-1. It's too big. The Rockingham. I sat down and I wanted to get well stuck into this last night, and I really wanted to come up with something. I think I'd got one, but I'm not overly keen. Make a challenge if he runs here. I'm not sure if that's the intended target, but he's got 11 stone, which is an awful amount of weight.
I think he ruled it out after he won the weekend.
Yeah, I can't see that happening. Alligator Alley was an eye catcher at Naas the last day in a listed race. Challenged on the wrong side of the track, but ran on well. The only thing, the question mark there is if the ground is soft. I think he probably wants better ground. The first 2 runs of his life were on yielding and good to yielding, and he was disappointed in 4th and 3rd that day. He was when sent off, I think 13-8 or something for the second run. He finished 3rd. Happy to take him on as a favourite. Laugh a Minute is interested for Ada McGuinness. Was very interested. Was very good at Limerick. Goes on soft ground, but this is a step down to 5 furlongs for the first time in his life, which I don't know. Interesting you're doing that at this stage of his life. I know he's only just gotten, but I'm not convinced that would work. The 2 to keep an eye on, I thought, Stanhope is one of them. First time out for John McConnell, has gone well fresh before, has joined him from the Damien English yard. He last won off 79-80. He's back down to that now. John had a winner the other day. I just would like to see them in a little bit more consistent form before I start backing them. The one for me was Made of Spirit, who travelled like an absolute dream on its first start for Ken Condon. And, I just think that if there's one in here that's thrown in, this is it. That was off 77. It only won narrowly, but the way it travelled like much the best horse in that race. It's up £5 at 82. I'd actually think this better grade of race would suit it the way it travelled. If there's one that could improve her further, I think that's it, because she's a half sister to horses with Racing Post ratings of 111, 110, 92, and 91. She's down to carry 8 stone 5. Obviously, that's if Make a Challenge runs, but still, she's well in off 82. Still, I think she could improve up to the 90s. And if there's one there to back, she's probably it.
There's one I landed on who won at the Curragh last time out, and it's Kieran Cotter's Strong Johnson. He won last time out at the Curragh with 5 furlongs on Good to Firm off a marker 72. It was markers unchanged, which is staggering to me because he travelled so well. He won by 1 3/4 lengths, but he never ever looked like he was going to get beat. He more or less ran a solo up the standside rail. I say a solo. He was about two horse widths away from the rest of the group. Never ever looked in danger. They really liked him all last season, but he didn't really get it together. He's won on Good to Firm. He's won on soft ground. He's 9-1. I think he has a cracking chance of this. As I said, his markers after changing now. I looked at this and his markers unchanged.
Yeah, I did the same. But yeah, the mark has gone up.
His mark has gone up. But anyway, he's gone up to 81, which is a bit worrying now, to be honest. But no, even visually, it looked very impressive. Colin Keane was on that day. Mark Gallagher is on him Friday or Saturday. But yeah, going on visually, very impressive. Never looked like going to get beat. 8-1, 8-1, 9-1. It's small enough for a race like this, but I wouldn't put anyone off him. That's my case for 5 furlong handicap sprint with about 200 runners in it.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting race anyway, isn't it?
Right, we're going to leave the jump race to last.
Okay.
Go.
No. Bad news, lads. While Andrew was talking there, I've just checked on to see what price Ocean Atlantique is in the Derby. It's 40-1 on Betfair, so it doesn't look like it's running.
Yeah, that's not coming over.
Yeah, it was me stuck with like 30 quid on it, wild prices. Fantastic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. Friday night, 7:45, the Apprentice Derby. You've won or two in this, you like that?
The Apprentice Derby, I said to you, yeah, look, tricky handicap. Tricky handicap. There's two in there. One is Monoxide, first time out for Jared Lyons, I think, from Martin Mead's stable. 1 off 80, is back down to a mark of 80. The Dam is a half sister to 6 Perfections, and he is by Galileo himself. So there's a pedigree there to work with. 80 could be a very fair mark for that horse. The other one is Sayo, Willie Mullins' horse. A few of them have run a little bit disappointingly, is the only thing. But Sayo is around 143 over hurdles. He's somehow, it's based on his French form, but his French form is from a long, long time ago. He's got a mark of 73. So he's 70 pounds lower.
He's choked in, Tom.
Yeah.
That's bad as well.
It's not like he's a horse. I don't like comparing levels and grades when you're going from like hurdles to fences or fences to hurdles. I think that gets tricky. There's normally a reason why, but like Sayo hasn't run on the flat since he ran in France.
Yeah.
It's not like he's run for Willie and he's run disappointingly on the flat, but his hurdles mark has gone up. This horse actually hates jumping fences.
He really hates it.
Like I saw him a couple of times, and he went off short prices for them, and he hates it. Let me tell you that for nothing. He doesn't like it. So this is an interesting angle that they're running on the flat. He is thrown in, I think, off 73. He would want
pounds off that as well.
Yeah, he jumps into the Santiago group though that wants some rain. So yeah, he's going to need a bit of rain, I think. But if he gets some, he's a hell of a chance.
Yeah, I've him as well. I'm just going to echo what you said. He's choked. To me, he's choked in, and then Paddy Harnett has taken another 4 pounds off him, so he's rated technically 69 going into it. Not rated 69, taking 4 pounds off him, so he's carrying 9 stone 5. He's choked in. Willie Mullins, he surely had to improve him past 73 for going to Willie Mullins.
You would think so anyway, wouldn't you? You'd kind of hope so. As I say, like, it's not like he's run poorly.
No.
So yeah, I'm happy enough. I see Monoxide is running there. He is interesting, but he's got top weight as well. Dunno. I just wanted to look at some of the jockey bookings because we got some good apprentices here. Dunno O'Connor is a very good apprentice. It's interesting to see he's riding that. Who is riding Paddy Harnett? Yeah.
You don't sound very confident with that.
No, it's interesting. I've just seen Willie's got 2 in it. He's got Joey Sheridan on the other one, and he's got Paddy Harnett on Sayo.
Like the other Willie Mullins horse has, like I say, good form. He's ran in very good races over hurdles. He's ran in races that have been won by Fury Road and Envy Allen, and he's been beaten 24 and 22 lengths in 2 of them. But like to even think that Willie Mullins thinks he has that kind of big talent to run in races like that.
Yeah,
he won't have a right chance in this.
Yeah, he came from Francis Graffard, who is a very, very good trainer in France. So I know Willie's a good trainer, but it took him a good few runs to get his head in front in France. So yeah, that was kind of why he wasn't for me. But yeah, look, I'll I'll take a chance. I'll take a chance on Seo. But yeah, keep an eye on the top one as well. The two against the field.
Yeah, I'm on Seo. Right. Most important race of the weekend. The Grimes Hurdle in Tipperary, Grade 3. Just listen to the horses that are in this. We've Aramon, Chosen Mate, Davis Charm, Early Doors, Mengley Khan, Ornua, Petty Mouchoir, Plint, Stratton, Wonderleash, Yanworth. It's like, that's a good race.
What in the name of God is Chosen Mate doing running in this?
I had no idea. I thought that myself when I seen it.
Of all the feckin' random entries there were for this, that one jumped out. I was like, they've gone chasing. He's improved over fences and he's looked very good winning last day of 147. You're going to have a chasing career next year where he needs to improve half a stone to be a top class Grade 1 horse. And you're running in the Grimes Hurdle over hurdles around Tipperary in June.
Unless he's going to the plate.
Yeah, you don't want to do well to win that off 156. Now you say it, that probably is the plan for him.
But you think you'd find easier pipe openers than bloody going against some of these?
He's a 2-miler, so he's not going to run in the plate unless they're going for the hurdle, which he's got a mark of 143. Which then that's interesting.
Yeah.
Then that's interesting. But I don't know. I just thought if he was mine, I'd have enjoyed looking at him out in the field for the summer and said, come back and try and improve your half a stone and be a top class chaser. That was the random one for me. Is Yanworth is running? Jesus Christ!
He needs to start running like now.
He'll be running in Laytown next. That horse. He's just a yoke.
And it won't be in the bloody races and being one of them bloody them pony rides.
He's just a yoke, that lad. Petit Mouchoir is very interesting.
Petit Mouchoir is the winner.
Do you think? Yeah.
Oh, this is the day. This is gonna happen. I've been waiting a year and a half for this.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'll agree. Feckin' hell, Mengley Khan runs in this. Or Newer runs in this. What is wrong with people?
There's got to be some pace on in this.
What is going on here? If there's some pace in it, who it might suit is Aramon, but he does have to carry 12 stone.
Who I liked as well was David's Charm.
Prep race for Galway again, surely.
Jesus, third time in a row.
Hasn't run in 208 days, prep race for Galway. A lot of these, they must be looking at this as a prep race for Galway, for like Menley Khan or Newer. If Petit Mouchoir is round up and ready to go, this could be his day.
Oh, I can't wait.
Pretty good race though, isn't it? Like every single one of those that you go through, apart from a couple of them, which we won't mention because that's a bit mean.
Like you have Aramon who finished second at Cheltenham. You've Chosen May who won at Cheltenham. You have Early Doors who placed. Petit Mouchoir who broke my heart.
Petit Mouchoir. You have some top class jumps horses in there. Yeah, it's gonna be a great race. I'm definitely not having a bet in it, but
I have to back Petit Mouchoir. I know it's ridiculous, but it'll be the day he'll win, and I won't be on, and I'll be distraught. Well, that depends on price he is now. In fairness,
yeah. Look, I'll cheer him on.
Ah, that's nice to know. Right, any other? We give you back your Tom's Corner. We debated about getting rid of it.
No, I dumped it. That's the abuse, the absolute abuse I am getting for this. You know what now? No, you can stick your Tom's Corner. You can stick it to this week anyway. But no, there's
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, you have one then, yeah?
Do I have one? No, I don't really have one. No, I don't have one. There's some horse I'm looking forward to running, seeing run. Make good. The stick.
Stop now, Tom. Please.
The feckin' stick I'm getting about this horse is ridiculous. But there's a race in him, lads. I'm telling you. But no, the one horse that has me really excited is that horse Benevente, I think his name is, that finished behind Battleground. I just think he'll make up into a lovely horse and he'll go under the radar a little bit. And again with Enna Steinman, I think she's a Group 1 1.5 filly. I'm looking forward to her.
Right. So give me your Nap and next best for the weekend.
Oh, it's tough. It's tough. So the two I like are Made of Spirit in the Rockingham. This is simple. The bets I'll be having. Made of Spirit in the Rockingham. I'll back Cayenne Pepper at 10-1 as soon as this is finished. In the Pretty Polly, I'll also have a couple of pennies each way on Rockaroma, although not convinced she'll run, but we'll see. What else am I going to back? I'm not going to back any of those. I'm going to back Santiago at 3-1. Wouldn't want to be much shorter, but I could see him going off about 2-1. And I'm going to back Sherpa at 12-1. My best bets out of those are, depending on, I don't know what price Made of Spirit is going to be, but yeah, I don't know. What's my nap? Made of Spirit then can be my nap. And my next best is Santiago.
It's about 20 horses, but anyway.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Five bets for the weekend.
5 certainties. Right, my nap.
But four of them are in 2 races, so I can only have 2 winners.
Oh, God. And you wonder what you get stick? My nap is either going to be Santiago or Crossfire Hurricane. Soft ground Santiago, good to firm ground Crossfire Hurricane. My next best, Paddy Mushwater. Let the abuse begin. He has to win, Tom. Today's the day. Well,
it's like he has to win at some stage. I'm going to keep backing him until he wins.
There's the man who's going to keep backing bloody make good.
Yeah, I'm going to be backing him at 33-1 though. So,
yeah, that's my next best.
A bit of news here. Just checked. Edward Hopper, who was the other one I put up, just won his maiden at Nice. So,
price.
Finally.
What price?
4-6 he went off at.
Steal. Value right there.
2-1 last night. One of the lads messaged me, he got on, yeah.
You get on him. Right. I think that's us done for this week. So again, we will be back next week with the English Derby and much more. So again, thanks again for watching, lads, and we'll see you again next week.